Learn more at 1160hope.com.
Welcome to Transforming Your City Radio with popular leadership expert coach Dr. Dave Robinson. Dave is a full-time executive leadership coach who travels the USA and oversees more than 250 days each year, helping leaders improve their skills and seeing their vision become a reality. He's authored 4 books on leadership and publishes a monthly e-newsletter read by more than 40,000 people in over 30 nations. Coach Dave tackles the 3 key leadership questions. What do you want? What do you have? And what's your plan to close the gap from what you have to what you want? This is where coaching begins, transforming your city. Now, here's Coach Dave Robinson, Ph.D.
Hello, I'm Coach Dave Robinson, and welcome to Transforming Your City right here on AM 1160, Hope for Your Life. This is a show that helps you develop your own personal skills so you can transform your city through marketplace leadership.
And now let's check the coach's clipboard. Leadership coach Dr. Dave Robinson shares what's on his heart, giving you a fresh insight and revelation into transforming your city.
Coach's Clipboard is my opportunity to share with you thoughts on the need and how for transforming your city through marketplace leaders. Today, I want to talk about the difference between the secular versus the sacred. God has a purpose for you, your business, career, church, or organization. It is to glorify the Lord of the harvest in the marketplace, your place of ministry. Until believers influence all 3 entities controlling every nation, discipling all nations will not be accomplished. We must infiltrate and allow God's favor to elevate us until we have superior influence in business, government, and education. Church leaders are responsible to use their Ephesians 4:1-16 model in providing teaching, training, and coaching believers to be warriors in the marketplace, not just good church members populating buildings that we call churches. We must stop the secular versus sacred divide. Separation does not exist in God's world. We must find purpose and meaning for being whatever God has called you to be where He's called you to be it. We must resist compartmentalizing our lives. We must understand the difference between church work and the work of the church. Marketplace ministry callings exist to glorify God the same as ministry in the church callings. In Genesis 1:26-31, God provides a fundamental theology for the marketplace and business. He provides a business model in creation. Only business creates wealth to provide for kingdom citizens and kingdom expansion. Businesses create relationships with God in order for Him to demonstrate and display His grace through the lives of those devoted to Him. Business played a major role in the New Testament church. Lydia was a merchant. Peter, James, and John were in the fishing business. Luke was a physician. Matthew, a tax collector. Paul, Priscilla, and Aquila created value in the marketplace and a platform for their ministry. Even Jesus was a small business owner. He recruited 12 marketplace individuals and formed the team, the first team for world evangelism. Ministry should never be bivocational. All Ephesians 4:1 marketplace Christians are called to ministry. They should be consecrated and deployed for full-time ministry by Ephesians 4:11-16 ministers. They have a call to something and for something. You're in kingdom business or you're not in business. Your marketplace calling must be relational. Relationships are primary, not instrumental. Ministry, regardless of geography, is about relationships. Few things of significant value are accomplished outside of real and honest relationships. Relationships are first vertical, then horizontal, and then ever-widening circles of influence. Covenant relationships should run deeper than any other kind. The Great Commission and the spread of the gospel never happens through organizations and institutional efforts, only through passionate members of those organizations. How do you transform the marketplace? Communicate truth through the power and inspiration of the Holy Spirit. 2, equip mature believers, not just for church work, but also for the work of the church in the marketplace. And 3, release trained, equipped, and empowered marketplace warriors to do their kingdom assignments.
It's the Coach's Playbook. Dave Robinson travels more than 250 days each year coaching globally to help transform cities and nations. With his effective teaching style, Dave presents today's leadership moment highly relevant for you and your city.
This week's Coach's Playbook continues my series, 7 Keys for Success, tips that I believe will help you grow as a marketplace leader. I shared this to a group of businessmen in San Diego, California, a couple years ago. Here are 7 keys for success in business or life, ministry, About the time you're 40, you begin to see how all of it just kind of flows together. Life, business, ministry. These come out of Matthew 25, the parable of the 5 wise and 5 foolish virgins, the talents, and the righteous judge who's going to, at the end of the age, we're all going to stand before him. So these 7 principles come out of Matthew chapter 25. Number 1, compassionately but boldly tell the truth. See, the Bible doesn't say you shall know the facts and the facts shall set you free. The Bible says you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. Facts are true, but facts are not the truth. The truth always overrides the facts. I see Christians who are either always wanting to give me the facts or ignore the truth. The fact is, you might be broke today. Your business might be going under. But the truth is, our God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. For some of us, he needs to sell some and send some of the proceeds our way. That would be really helpful for us today. God's the slowest person I know to always be on time. One of my favorites is, you know what determines the length of a minute? What side of the bathroom door you're on. Just a minute. If you're on the wrong side, that can seem like an eternity. Some may be in that place today, but don't ignore the truth. Tell the truth to yourself, to those who are close to you, to those that may be your customers or those that flow in the circle of your influence. One of the things I teach leaders is you can either cut the puppy's tail off an inch at a time, or you can do it all at once. You can have this pain an inch at a time, or you can take it all off at once. See, when you recognize that there is a problem, deal with it, because usually it's not going to get better with age. So again, there's nothing like experience to teach you how to deal with the problems that you face. It's been my privilege to serve as Mark Miller's personal and leadership and business coach for the last 3 or 4 years, I guess, Mark. And so he's got a project of building houses now in Branson, Missouri, in addition to his business in Longview, Texas. And we met last year as he put his team together down there, and I cautioned him about one issue. And again, as a coach, I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's what consultants do. See, they come in, do an assessment, write you a prescription, take your money, and leave. This might work for you. Or you go to seminars and workshops and get overloaded with a lot of great information, but then you have to go home and you still have to know what to do next. I come alongside you for a couple of years, and if you can take it, then we're going to make some progress. So I cautioned him, but he felt to go ahead and do it. And he called me, a month ago now. He said, well, I had to go back up there and cut the puppy's tail off all at once. He had a person on his team who wasn't really tied in to the value system that he had for putting this project together and how it could be successful, because the whole purpose of being in business is increase. God wants to bless you beyond just taking care of your needs. He wants to do above and beyond what you can even ask or think. And some of you have some pretty big ideas. You think largely, and you can't outthink God, though. You can't think larger than God. But there's a fine line between presumption and faith, and you better hear from God if you're going to walk on that line. It's just easier to just walk in your own knowledge and be safe, or ignore the issue altogether, like the person who received 1 talent and he went and stuck it in the ground. God is always about increase. And there is a risk factor in every decision that you make. But if you have the wisdom of God, you'll get most of them right. The ones you don't get right, the lesson is, don't do that one again. And so the first house he built, the prophet expectation went from 20,000 down to 1,200 or thereabouts, from what I understand. And so he sent the man on his way who couldn't tie in. The profit in the second house now is pushing 30,000 to those that may be your customers or those that flow in the circle of your influence. One of the things I teach leaders is you can either cut the puppy's tail off an inch at a time, or you can do it all at once. You can have this pain an inch at a time, or you can take it all off at once. See, when you recognize that there is a problem, deal with it, because usually it's not going to get better with age. So again, there's nothing like experience to teach you how to deal with the problems that you face. Simply because he spoke the truth boldly but compassionately. Now the man he let go is now in his sweet spot where he's a great craftsman. He's building upscale homes, making the kind of money he needs. Everybody's happy. See, if you ignore the truth, you do to your own hurt, and if you're in a place of leadership, to everyone around you. Telling the truth defines reality, and it confronts denial. If you deny the truth and ignore the facts, you will have to deal with a different reality just later on. Deal with the issues now and they become a part of your past. If you don't deal with them, they still remain a part of your future. Deal with it truthfully. Trust you enjoyed today's Playbook. Tune in next week for part 3 of 7 Keys for Success.
The second half of this week's Transforming Your City program is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to popular leadership expert, Coach Dr. Dave Robinson. Now you can receive Dave's monthly Transforming Your City e-news, read by more than 40,000 people in over 30 nations, free of charge. Visit transformingyourcity.com and sign up today. All we ask for is your email address, nothing more. Visit transformingyourcity.com. That's transformingyourcity.com and get on the Coach's e-news team today. It's time to get to work transforming your city. Idle in the Marketplace at the 11th hour is the popular must-read from Dr. Dave Robinson concerning the church's most important mandate. Connect with Coach Dave. Become a member of the team at transformingyourcity.com. With your donation of any amount, you'll have online access to the Idle in the Marketplace audiobook. For your contribution of $35 or more, we'll include a print version as well. Perfect for highlighting and taking notes, plus a print copy of Dave's popular 100 Leadership Nuggets, the perfect guide for those who want to lead well. Your gift will help Transforming Your City impact lives globally for the kingdom. And Transforming Your City is part of E41 Marketplace Ministries. Visit transformingyourcity.com today and look for Idle in the Marketplace offer. That's transformingyourcity.com. Here's our toll-free number, 844-706-1444. That's 844-706-1444. Toll-free 844-706-1444. Transformingyourcity.com. Transforming Your City with Dr. Dave Robinson. What do you want? What do you have? And what is your plan to close the gap from what you have to what you want? This is where coaching begins, transforming your city. Now, here's Coach Dave Robinson, Ph.D. Ask the Marketplace Leaders. In the course of his travels, Dr. Dave Robinson connects with leaders in all areas of influence, business, government, and church, and invites experts to join him in this segment. Let's learn from leadership that will help you transform your city.
In today's Marketplace Leader segment, I talk further with Larry Chappel, successful radio executive here right at AM 1160, Hope for Your Life. On the program with me today is Larry Chappel, who is an employee here at 1160, Hope for Your Life, Salem Radio Network. And Larry was very instrumental in me being on the radio and this whole program coming together. He called me, I guess, Larry, it was about a year and a half ago. We talked about it. And I said, let me pray about it, and then I'll get back to you. And in that last 11, 12, 13 months, God kind of just brought it all together, and here we are today. And so, Larry, it's great to have you on the program. Why do you think that most Christians really struggle making the connection between what they hear on Sunday morning, which is all good,
right,
and what they do Monday through Saturday? Where's the disconnect or the breakdown in your mind?
Boy, in my mind, a lot of it boils down to religion. You know, they become so indoctrinated with religion that they have a hard time connecting the dots. And to me, the dots are that it must be productive. There must be a profitability in it. If people realized that everything written in the gospel, you know, when he says that he maketh one rich and addeth no sorrow, when he says that he works on us both to will and to do according to his good will, and yet people are either busy trying to do it and it's not being the grace, or they don't realize the return on the investment. They'll go to college because they see a return on the investment. They'll work 40 hours a week because they see a return on the investment, and then they'll throw God a few minutes thinking that they've done God a service or they've done him a favor, and he's not sitting up there looking for favors. I like the verse in the book of Psalms where it says they turned back and limited the Holy One of Israel. And I think that so many people limit him and they don't see the fact that God is really busy trying to look out for our welfare and our benefits so that our example brings people onto him.
Do you think most Christians go to the marketplace and really see themselves as full-time ministers of the gospel, or do they go and see themselves as having a secular job?
I think that virtually, if I had to put a statistic on it, I would say that 95% of the people that go to the marketplace are so beat up and so wimped out and so scared when they're in that marketplace that they're hiding their light under a bushel, that they're afraid to speak. And here's the thing. Here's where I go back to that profitability. When Jesus said, when you are persecuted for my name's sake, he doesn't just say have joy. He says leap for joy. And I believe that every word in that Bible has a meaning. And if you see somebody leaping for joy, they're pretty joyful. I think that it's our reaction to the persecution. It's that Christians don't realize that we are called to fulfill the sufferings of Jesus. And people want to think that that's cancer and that's this and that. But in fact, what it is all who live godly and will suffer persecution. And it says, woe unto you men when all men speak well of you. We should be walking full of light, full of truth, full of joy, full of peace. But we're not the wimps. We're not the ones that are retreating like they've got. And that's what happens is we don't realize that the atomic dunamis power within us, when it confronts that, we always win if we're taught to win. But my gosh, show me a guy fired because he's simply walking around full of joy and peace, and I'll show you a guy that God's going to promote.
You know, God said that he made us the head and not the tail, with that we are to have authority in every situation. There's probably marketplace ministers, leaders, church leaders listening today. Let's close the program today by having you share something that's in your heart. If you could picture leaders, church leaders, marketplace leaders sitting in a room, what would you want to say to them as it relates to building the kingdom in the marketplace?
That's good. That's good. What I would say to them is that it really is, be it unto you according to your faith. What happens is you have to readjust what's happening within you spiritually, and to realize that when you pick a spiritual fight, when you make a stand for Christ, when, if somebody says something in my presence and they say it to where I'm hearing it, and, then I feel like, hey, you can't tell me in my presence and have me say nothing that evolution is a fact. I'm not going to allow that because you've obviously directed it at me. I think it must be in love. It must be in gentleness. It must be with the word of wisdom, the word of knowledge. I mean, think about how exciting it is to have supernatural spiritual weapons at our disposal.
I'm Coach Dave Robinson. We'll visit more again with Larry Chappel of AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, next week on Transforming Your City Radio. And now it's time for Ask the Coach.
It's time to Ask the Coach. In this segment, Dr. Dave Robinson goes to the phone, social media, and emails to answer questions directly coming in from thousands of weekly listeners to Transforming Your City.
I'm Coach Dave Robinson, and you can ask your question on Ask the Coach. Call us toll-free at 844-706-1444. That's 844-706-1444. You can also ask your question by email at info@transformingyourcity.com or use the contact form on our transformingyourcity.com website or send us a message on our Transforming Your City Facebook page. In today's Ask the Coach Corner, I want to respond to a question that a pastor asked me when I spoke to a group of church leaders in Dallas, Texas a few weeks ago. His question was, how can I build a transformational church that makes a difference in my city's marketplace? I believe it begins in response to Jesus' passionate prayer in John 17:23 when he said, "May they be brought to complete unity to let the world know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me." Marketplace leaders must take the lead because they represent the one church that gathers daily in the place of ministry in the public arena. Then pastors of the local congregations they represent must support their efforts. When these marketplace ministers and pastors come together to pray, seek God's wisdom and God's strategy for their city, they must set aside denominational affiliations and personal theology and be unified around who Jesus is, why he came to this earth, and what we as the church must do about it in the marketplace. Transformational churches have the following characteristics. Number one, they not only believe transformation is possible, they seek passionately for it. They go beyond praying for it and actively pursue pressing or possessing the places of influence in business, government, and education. Second, they see themselves as part of the one church in their city. There are not a lot of churches. There's just one church in every city. I'm not advocating you abandon your ministry organizations, but those kind of churches know that the church Jesus established was about geography and not polity. Neither do I advocate you compromise your strongly held local church family values. They're important, but they must not divide us in our common marketplace ministry responsibilities. Third, they teach, train, and empower and deploy their members to reach the marketplace. They actively implement the theology of the priesthood of all believers, according to 1 Peter 2:9. And finally, they commit a growing percentage of their resources to kingdom expansion beyond their own institutional concerns. It's first in Jerusalem, your marketplace, and in the world. I pray God will help you transform your marketplace. I'm Coach Dave Robinson. Let me know your question for Ask the Coach. Call us toll-free at 844-706-1444. That's 844-706-1444. Or email me at dave@transformingyourcity.com.
It's time to get to work transforming your city. Idle in the Marketplace at the 11th hour is the popular must-read from Dr. Dave Robinson concerning the church's most important mandate. Connect with Coach Dave. Become a member of the team at transformingyourcity.com. With your donation of any amount, you'll have online access to the Idle in the Marketplace audiobook. For your contribution of $35 or more, we'll include a print version as well. Perfect for highlighting and taking notes, plus a print copy of Dave's popular 100 Leadership Nuggets, the perfect guide for those who want to lead well. Your gift will help Transforming Your City impact lives globally for the kingdom. And Transforming Your City is part of E41 Marketplace Ministries. Visit transformingyourcity.com today and look for Idle in the Marketplace offer. That's transformingyourcity.com. Here's our toll-free number, 844-706-1444. That's 844-706-1444. Toll-free 844-706-1444. transformingyourcity.com.
I'm Coach Dave Robinson, and my personal mission is to equip you with information to help you develop as a marketplace leader who's part of the Transforming Your City movement. I'd like to encourage you to get connected by visiting our transformingyourcity.com website or calling us today at 844-704-1444.
You've been listening to the Transforming Your City radio program with popular leadership expert, author, speaker, mentor, minister, Coach Dr. Dave Robinson. For more information on transforming your city, visit us on the web, transformingyourcity.com. That's transformingyourcity.com. Or give us a call toll-free at 844-706-1444. Again, that's 844-706-1444. Toll-free, 844-706-1444. Transforming Your City is powered by E41 Marketplace Ministries and the Fellowship. Visit us online at transformingyourcity.com.
AM 1160.